Right, so maybe in the interest of time, let's kick it off a little bit, because now it's us between you and the party, and we do not really like to be that. So let's kick it off. Welcome to this session when we're going to talk about a case study for FORA, a Swedish customer. So at this time of day, we have an agenda that is quite neat, quite easy. So we're going to talk about the vision from FORA, why they had to do the change and the migration. We're going to talk about the concept of the solution, and then end up a little bit on the journey ahead. We're just going to end this one, move over to, because the message from FORA, this is a video 2 minutes and 40 seconds long.
FORA is one of the cornerstones of the Swedish model and its contribution to build a sustainable society. Serving more than 235,000 companies, 4 million individuals, and managing roughly 21 billion Swedish crowns of premiums and fees. So, it was a big shift when it was announced that FORA, starting in 2024, would transform the reporting process, moving from annual payroll reporting to monthly reporting for all manual workers in the private sector, providing them with the opportunity to get yields throughout the year. A big challenge, but also big opportunity for FORA to redefine itself. Partnering up with Accenture, FORA set high goals to exceedingly transform in 4 main areas. The concept of clean core, implementing a standardized SAP core for insurance, simplifying processes such as invoicing, payments and distribution, employee reporting and product management. Harmonized data platform using the latest Azure cloud technology based on composable architecture, significantly reducing the lead time for new releases by more than 40%. The Insights portal, delivering insights from data to business users in real-time streams to enable future machine learning-based recommendations and behavioral customer segments, while also helping the companies to avoid legacy Excel spreadsheet-based reporting prone to errors. Digital services, a combination of web-based applications and cloud-based CRM services integrated with a data platform, streaming real-time data to serve customer needs and enable targeted campaigns toward employers. To undergo the transformation in the short time span of barely 24 months came with its fair share of highs and lows, but a minimal viable product was successfully launched in time. FORA and Accenture managed to make this remarkable transformation with a clear goal to achieve a robust and advanced IT infrastructure. Continuous improvements are now progressing to create a better customer and employee experience with the usage of cloud technology and SAP Core.
So just wanted to share then, this is the story that we pick upon. This is the big view of FORA. My name is Sven-Olof Forman. I'm working at SUSE, taking care of the ecosystem for SAP in the Nordics. And together with me as a presenter, we have Avanad and Ankit. Ankit.
Yeah, my name is Ankit. I'm from Accenture Avanad. I work as a cloud architect specialized in SAP on Azure. We are Avanad, so we are a sister company of Accenture and Microsoft together. So Microsoft owns us 10% and Accenture owns us 90%. And we only work with the Microsoft stack. Next slide. So a little bit about the partnership. But before I go into the partnership, FORA had a similar transformation journey 5 years back, but they failed to transform the similar journey, the similar vision that they have from yearly to monthly premiums, right? Why? That I'll talk about later. However, FORA recognized that there was a need for transformation. So FORA reached out to Accenture and Avanad in the partnership, and then we reached out to SUSE for having the IT landscape where we can run our SLES for SAP and run our SAP system, core system, and also the data platform. Now, we had a very good collaboration with SUSE, with Accenture, with Microsoft, along with FORA as a customer. Now, there was, like, whenever you start any new project, there are a lot of asks and a lot of challenges when you're starting a transformation journey with a big clients, right? And me coming from the consulting background, we call it a wish list of clients, right? So there was a wish list from FORA as well, that they wanted a platform which is robust, which is scalable, which is built for SAP HANA, and have 24/7 support for SAP. There was, in terms of the alignment, they wanted to have high availability and scalability because they are also talking about the Swedish pension cluster mergers within Sweden. There was compliance requirements as well, wherein they were using a tool called Thales, which is a French company. So FORA was not trusting Microsoft directly to have their data within their data center. So they wanted to encrypt the data using a European company, basically having the agents installed on the SAP servers and encrypting the data at rest. And of course, on top of it, SAP compliance as well. They already had the cloud adoption framework model, but they were missing the landing zone for SAP. So they wanted something that works with Azure, that has less overhead of management, automate as much as possible, and of course, create, install, operate, and manage overall solution. And they had a vision and, of course, desire to innovate. We got 2 years to do this, the whole transformation journey, and we went live this year in January 2024. Now, when we partnered with SUSE, there was also Red Hat as well in the market, and the customer was confused, and they came to us as the partner that which OS distribution should we use for SAP workload. And having a relationship with SUSE worked really well, and SUSE came in and spoke about why it's best to run SAP workload on SLES rather than Red Hat. And I think Sven is the best person to talk about it.
I will try to. So, I mean, the landscape was pretty clear when we came in. The choice of Azure was already taken. The choice of SAP was already taken, so we needed to find the glue. And the way to actually find our place there was to talk not only about Linux as Linux and we can be the operational system, but also how to become a part of the operational excellence on day 1, day 2, not only at the installation. So therefore, we talked not only about the operation system, but also the best practice, the automation, the management and monitoring security parts of the platform. Quite soon, we found out that if we're talking about the optimized for performance, SLES for SAP and SUSE is built for HANA. It's built together with SAP for that sense. It has a built-in high availability already, meaning that Avanade and Accenture didn't need to go shopping for another tool and have another integration into the platform. The seamless integration that FORA was looking for was that they have chosen Azure as the platform. They've chosen SAP as the front, let's say. And they wanted to have something that they can share on a global scale without having any extra efforts. With a strong partnership between us and Microsoft, we were already there, so it was already being able to use it. The part around enhanced security we could fulfill by having the strong encryption. We have the hardening parts of the servers. I don't going to dig too deep into these areas because we have heard it many times throughout the day. The second from the last, cost-effective solution. This was FORA's idea. Instead of buying their own specialized hardware to set that up for the SAP workload, they can very much live on the Azure infrastructure. Lastly, but not least, is the strong partnership between all the parts here. So when it comes to support, best practices, we can share that in between us seamlessly. So no one is left, no one and nothing is left behind.
Thank you. I'm going to talk about a bit of solution and the implementation that we did. throughout. So we chose our infrastructure foundation, and we went ahead with one OS platform for all the components within SAP, whether it's Web Dispatcher, NetWeaver, HANA, Solution Manager, any component that we had, Cockpit for managing databases, everything is running on SLES for SAP. And trust me, it works really well. We also built a data platform, and I talked about the encryption strategy. So all the PII data, which is related to GDPR compliance, we had to create a database which is also running on SLES, which is Postgres. And this whole infrastructure solution is running on Azure. After the foundation that we built on SLES for SAP, we created the framework with the industry solution, wherein we designed a modern data platform as a framework and built on top of the automation. So the whole infrastructure was created with infrastructure as code, and then we have pipelines which transforms the data, which I'll talk about in the next one. So as I said, that the previous journey that they did that failed, it was because that they didn't choose the right tools. However, this time they scrapped everything that they had because there was a lot of customization. Now, this time they leveraged SAP, SUSE, and Azure. And within SAP, they chose the industry solution, which is S4I, SAP for Insurance. They did the functional transformation using modern finance in SAP. And on top of it, we built the data-led organization, basically having the data privacy around it, as well as doing the data modernization, using the concept of clean core that you saw it in the video. It's basically no customization in the SAP core system. Any customization that needs to happen will happen in the data platform, because there are multiple sources, SAP, Salesforce, Excel, all the sources are going into one central data platform. And then we created a golden data record, and on top of it, that data is divided into Mendelian architecture, basically raw, silver, bronze, and gold layer of the data, which can be consumed according to the need of the teams that are there in FORA, basically. And this whole journey led to the data-led transformation. So basically, this was a whole package along with SAP to have the data platform and give a customer 360 report or review. Now, the data transformation is happening in Azure Synapse, which is a default product of Azure, and then reporting is happening in Power BI. Now, in Sweden, we have a union for the companies, basically. These reports are being used by the unions every day. Now, a little bit into the infrastructure and the operational excellence. As I said, the infrastructure is running on Azure Cloud. We built it using infrastructure as code, using Bicep and Terraform. The operationality and the OS configuration, we are using SUSE Manager to do the patching. And as I said, it works really well because everything is running on one OS. We didn't go with like mix of combination, like because NetWeaver can also run on Windows, but there was no point of having different OSs. And then the SDAF, we used SDAF for the installation of the SAP components, SAP application, and the HANA database. And together with that, there is a solution in Azure called Azure Center for SAP Solution, which actually can be managed by this tool, so you can do start and stop and other stuff like that. Today, the business partner activation and testing is manual. However, there was a really great session that SUSE launched a product called QA something. Yeah, and that is integrated with SDAF. So this is going to be our next step, basically, to automate the testing. And with this solution, let's say today any basis person comes to the infra team and says, or any application person comes to us and says, hey, I need a new environment with this and this SID in SAP. Trust me, it's 1 day to production, basically. And then we just hand it over to the application team and they start working. I'm going to talk about a use case, and it's a very common use case, basically having SAP start-stop. Everyone wants it because in the non-business hours, you have a lot of non-production systems where you don't want to have your machines up and running and just pay for the cost of running and not being used. So the challenge was that Azure and Microsoft has built a lot of things around it. However, when I looked into the code on GitHub at the back end, every code is actually using a utility called Azure VM run command. And this was a security issue for us at FORA, because when you access this, you directly go as root in the OS. And this is what we wanted to avoid. So since we were already using SUSE Manager for the lifecycle management of the OSs and the servers, what we did was there's a feature in SUSE Manager called Salt. So we used Salt minions to run our start and stop jobs, and it worked seamlessly. So we have a front end in Azure Automation, backend, which triggers is the Salt minion through SUSE Manager, because SUSE Manager is already connected securely to all the servers that we have, right? And by doing this, we had significant cost savings, and our operations team can now focus on other things, other development, rather than wasting time on logging in the servers and just starting and stop the SAP part. And sometimes when you have the large databases, it might take even half an hour to just fully stop the HANA database. So this was one of the use cases where we leveraged Salt, and it's a great tool. So there were several outcomes and benefits of this transformation journey. Basically, the vision was achieved, moving from yearly to monthly, so that when the people get retired, they get more incentive on the money that they have been submitting as their pension, right? But in terms of infrastructure, we had the improved performance since they were running SAP CRM on-prem. So we migrated that to this new architecture. We had the reliability, and we had reduced downtime because we implemented inbuilt clustering that is provided by SLES for SAP. And of course, with some solutions that we implemented for start and stop and etc., we had a significant cost saving, which we could see directly in Azure Cost Center. So looking forward, like where we are today and the journey, basically, we at FORA wants to stay secure, well-managed, and cost-efficient. So we want to run so all this SLES for SAP servers comes as pre-hardened, but we would like to harden it every quarter or every month, and we want to automate that process. So we would like to use SUSE Manager Salt again, because it's already connected, and we have a hardening script based on SIS standards. So that's our next aim. Of course, we want to protect, so we want to analyze all the reports that comes out of SUSE Manager and takes continuous action in terms of patching. We want to have monitoring on top of it. So we want to basically centralize the monitoring. We want to take the logs from SUSE Manager and make it a centralized dashboard with infrastructure, SAP, and the OS platform as well. And in terms of operationality, we are working together with SUSE to implement live patching, so that it's a 12-month period, right? They can go without downtime. And of course, if there is any agent upgradation or installation, we're going to use SUMA, SUSE Manager. And on top of it, we also want to have the policy management and govern everything from the top. So that was it. Thank you very much.